Once again, I'm here inside of Leakes. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Nene Leakes. And remember, I have a son, King Brent, KingBrent, who will also be doing videos as well over on his channel. And of course, his first special guest will be none other than his mother. Well, today, inside of Leakes, I have one of my very good friends. Yeah, she was one of my bridesmaids, child. Jennifer Williams from Basketball Life is here.
Hi, darling.
Working. How are you feeling?
I'm a little drained, but I feel okay.
Why?
You know, I got a lot of shit going on.
I'm just like, what the hell wrong with you, man? You drained from what?
No.
Like, you ain't been doing nothing. We've been quarantined.
Yeah, I know.
So are you?
It's been an interesting one for me.
It has. I'm sure it has been, child. But, you know, first I got to say, how you been doing during this whole quarantine? Like, what are you doing the past time?
Well, I was in Miami for a few weeks, and so, you know, I was really just like chilling poolside, reading some books, writing, trying to better myself, and, you know, then my life became
Well, why did you choose Miami over Atlanta? Because Atlanta's your new home now.
I know, Atlanta is my new home, but I chose Miami because my friend lives there, so I just like went there.
What kind of friend?
No, my friend Kelly. She's like one of my friends. Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure. Now, you're my friend. I'm like, what kind of friend is
that? No. So my friend has a house there, and so you know, I'm new to Atlanta, so I don't want to just be home. I didn't know how long this was gonna go on for.
Yeah.
So
did you think it was gonna be over quick?
I didn't know. I didn't know that it was gonna be.
Neither. I was so stupid.
2 months.
Girl.
Honestly, I packed for like 2 weeks. I was like, okay, cool. Like, you know, I'll go there for 2 weeks. I didn't think I was gonna be there for 6 weeks. So, you know, but it was cool. It was just like we were on a vacation.
Yeah, but this is how crazy I was. They told me I had to close my store, and I said I had to close my store for 2 weeks.
Right.
So I literally thinking I'm closing my store for 2 weeks, and then went on and they said, no, we're going to go a little bit longer. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just closing my store. I can run down there. And I actually was running back and forth to my store, getting inventory, bringing it home. And then this shit didn't stop.
I know.
Girl,
you know, but I think they were like spoon feeding us. Like they didn't want to really tell us like a real date, you know? So it would be like, okay, you know, April 1st. And then it was like April 15th. You know, it was like every 2 weeks it just kept extending. And I was like, okay, you know, Miami is a beautiful place. I didn't used to live there. But, you know, I'm like, damn, I just bought a house. I haven't even had a chance to get settled. So it was cool because I was, you know, with people that I love. But at the same time, I was like, oh,
you have lived a lot of places. You have been in Miami. You lived in California. You're in Atlanta. Have you lived anywhere else? New York?
Yes. But, you know, so when I was married to my ex-husband, you know, when he played in the NBA, he played with different teams. So we would move to different places. I lived in Boston. He played in Cleveland.
So cold.
Yes, it was very cold. He played in Cleveland. He played in San Antonio. So I have lived a lot of places.
Okay, do you think Atlanta will be your home? Or if somebody comes and scoop you up and take you somewhere, you're going to just pack your shit and leave?
Honestly, my time in Atlanta has been quite interesting. So I don't know, you know, I just feel like I love Atlanta because I think the city is very progressive. And that's one of the reasons why. Yes, that's definitely one of the reasons why I moved here. The real estate is good, and I feel like the city is developing. So I felt like it was a good opportunity for me to move here. It's a lot of shady people here.
Oh, is it?
It's a lot of shady people here.
As you see with the queen of shade, honey. No, I'm just kidding. It's a lot of shady people here. How shady are they in Atlanta? Well, I always say that people in Atlanta are always flexing, you know, flex. Like pretend.
Yeah, but it's all a scam. You know what I mean? Like it's a facade.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm not really used to that. And you know, I didn't like grow up with everybody's like trying to like finesse someone or you know, like so I'm a little green when it comes to that. However, I love the city. I don't know that it's gonna be my home forever, but it's a good start. You know, I do like my house. I'm really happy with my purchase, and I want it to be closer to home. So I feel like I can, you know,
can jet over to New York.
Exactly. I can get there really quickly. But I don't know that I'll live here forever. I feel like I might end up back in New York.
Really? Not New York? I feel like something's flying around here. Not New York?
I do.
Really? I don't know about New York. New York's too cold.
It is, and that was the reason why I moved.
It's too expensive.
But I feel like if I have a home somewhere else, then I could be a snowbird.
You can.
So I can live there in the summer. I really enjoy New York during the summer.
I do too.
I'm not really with the winters because I don't want to drive in the snow.
Yeah,
I do like to flex a little bit and wear fur every now and again, but not that it has to be a necessity.
Yeah, you can wear fur in Atlanta. For sure. We definitely get cold enough where you can wear fur. I thought you were going to say you would go to Miami. Me personally, I'm looking at properties in Miami because I am like you. I like to be here in the summer, but I also in the cold months, I want to go back to Miami. I like to be in Miami. Like, I don't know. I like Miami. I just like it. I don't know.
I like Miami too. The only thing that I feel about Miami where I probably would not live there full time is I just feel like a lot of people, they're just very lax. It is a very leisure city. People don't show up on time. I'm just used to that. You know, you call a plumber, they just never show up. Who knows?
They be laying on the beach getting a tan. I didn't even know they do all that. Because I just honestly don't know Miami. I just know the beach.
Right.
Because I just like
you haven't lived there. So when you come there, you go to enjoy vacation, you go out to eat. But living there, you know, when I lived there, it was a lot because, and I didn't never live there full time, but my friends would come a lot, and they would come on the weekend, right? So my weekends literally were the same thing all the time. Let's go to Prime 112. Let's go to the beach. Let's go to Live on Sunday. And it's like after a couple weekends, you're like, it's too redundant. So for me, you know, I don't know that I would live there full time.
No, I definitely want a vacation property.
No, for sure.
Without question, I gotta have me a place in Miami because it's really, really good to me. Now, when we started to go into quarantine, you guys were filming.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Oh, you wasn't? Okay, but they were already kind of starting to film.
Yeah, they had started. Not everybody had started because you know
you still negotiations.
You know how that goes.
Yeah.
So I hadn't started yet. So, but yes, but you know everything had to shut down.
Yeah, everything had to shut down. So, but y'all still pretty much got the same cast. Well, we'll learn about that later. But y'all, because I know if y'all still in negotiation, ain't no telling who coming, who leaving. Until it's signed, sealed, and delivered.
Okay,
you just don't know. Yes, you just don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't be knowing until I show up. Like, oh, okay, who's this?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Well, I'm surprised to hear that you're even considering going back, though, Jen. I mean, you know what? Me and you had a conversation one time. You told me, you said, Nene, it is like an abusive boyfriend. And I say the same thing. It's like an abusive boyfriend. You just keep going back for more. You just keep going back for more.
No.
Like, what the hell?
Well, you know, it's hard when you have these contracts, right?
Yeah.
And so you're under contract, and then, you know, they have these options. And then you're like literally exclusive to them, so you can't do anything else. Yeah. So it's kind of like you don't have a choice until you really do get divorced.
Until you really do get a divorce, and then they be still trying to get back engaged. And you be like, well, damn.
You like it's the ring big enough,
right? And you still be fucking with them too. That's the problem, though. I can't stand that. It's just. I mean, boy, I tell you, it's really crazy being in reality TV. I've had my experience lately. I was just talking about how I felt because we had our reunion show recently, and during our reunion show, I really felt like I was a punching bag, and I really felt things were done unfair.
Oh, wow, welcome to my world. I'm a punching bag the whole goddamn season.
I feel the same. I really do feel the same.
It's awful,
I really do.
Right?
It is. Honestly,
it's not,
it really is. It's not. It's for more than anything. It's not fair. It's not fair. You know, I mean, I don't know y'all full situation, but I feel like over here on our side, I just feel like things are very one-sided.
Right.
And that is the part that disturbs me more than anything. It's just so one-sided and it's hurtful. It really is hurtful because it's just like, you know, you have all these executives and producers and you're like, you guys see how unfair this is. Like, help me out, work with me.
Right.
Like, this is unfair. You know, I don't know. It's unfair. It actually brings me to tears when I talk about it. It really does. It's so unfair.
It's really.
It's just unfair.
You know, people don't know because they're just looking at it on TV, and you know these shows obviously are produced, they're edited, but you know as you're going through it, it takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, it does.
It's very stressful. It's stressful. It's emotional. You know, and that's work, but then you know you have other things going on in your life as well. So it just becomes like, oh my God, it's just a lot.
You know, one of the things I felt is that I don't always want to go low. You know what I'm saying? I don't always want to be like, you know, F you and you. I don't always want to be doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when somebody is poking you and poking you and poking you, you have to sometimes get down to their level. And when you get down to their level, then when you come out of it, you be like, man, I hate I even did that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To myself.
So, you know, for me, I'm like a little reserved, you know, and I'm never like the loudest person in the room.
Which is so surprising that you would be a target, because you are not that loud.
I know, but that's why I'm a target, because I'm not controversial, you know, and I'm like not trying to pick battles. But it just, at a certain point, you're like, okay. But then when I buck back, it's like, oh my God, who is she? And it's like, what do you want me to do? You know, it's like you keep poking, and then
you're not supposed to defend yourself.
Right. So it's like I'm just supposed to be a doormat. I mean, it's crazy.
It's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. My whole head is slipping off my head right now. Like, seriously, I can't even take it right now. So recently, Jen, you were in some of the headlines on the blogs because you had a whole incident that happened.
Start drinking, honey.
You had this whole thing that happened to you. But before we get into talking about that, I want to first say this to you. This is a question that I got asked a lot. Does Jennifer think she picks the wrong guys? Do you think that you have a thing for picking like the wrong guy?
You know, here's the thing. I've heard people like say that, like, oh, this is not the first time you're in a bad relationship, but you only hear about it because it's bad. You know, like you don't hear about like good relationships. Like I have ex-boyfriends that we're still cool, you know, but I do happen to run across some crazies. I don't know that it's me if I'm putting out some type of energy that is attracting certain people to me. For me, I try and just always have a good heart and look at people for who they are, you know? And so, I don't know, I just seem to attract a certain type of person.
Do you think you have a type?
I don't think I have a type, because if I look across the board of the people that I've dated, like some...
When I look across your board, they're all bald-headed.
No, they're not.
They are all bald-headed. I'm like, okay, so she doesn't.
No, that's just the people that, you know, but it's...
Have they all not been bald-headed though? Most of them are close to being bald.
No, so I'm not...
These last few guys have all been bald-headed.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like, so, like...
Right, and they all been big and yellow. Big light-skinned guys. No. Big light-skinned guys. Jen, those last few guys have been big and light-skinned.
No, but here's the thing. So I'm like, I date different people. Like, I don't have like, oh, he has to be, you know, like 6'2", or he has to be, you know, bald head, or like, I don't know. I just honestly, if we have good conversation, that kind of is what gets me.
Okay, I like good conversation too.
Yeah,
I definitely like a guy who listens. I like a guy who talks back.
Right, and I think for me, I just, you know, I really, sometimes I feel really alone, you know, and because
I do too, and I ain't even alone.
But I do look for a sense of companionship, and I don't know if people prey on that. I'm not really sure, you know. So I'm not gonna say I always make the best choices, and then, you know, I make mistakes. I'm a work in progress like anybody else. So but you know, the ones that you guys hear about are just really, really bad.
I think one would say, if you are dating somebody and you're getting the same thing from them, then you should reconsider the type of people that you're dating, or the type of guy that you're dating.
Right.
Would you date any guy though? Like when I was about to get married, when I was thinking in my mind I wanted to get married, the new year had came in and I said to myself, I'm going to date any guy that wants to take me on a date. Any guy that wants to take me out on a date, I'm going to go out on a date. That didn't mean you had to be serious or anything. Just go on a date, because I just want to experience what guys were like. So I said any guy, which is it really how I truly ended up with Gregg. I said I'm going to date anybody that asks me out for a date. I'm going to go, because I believe that men choose who they want to be with. I don't think that it's your choice as a woman to choose the man, because 9 times out of 10, when the man chooses you, he wants you. You know what I'm saying? He's attracted to you. He likes you. And you also have to remember that the man has a weenie, and it has to get up off the couch. And it's going to get up off the couch for what it likes.
Right.
You know, opposed to a woman trying to get a man, I'm attracted to him. Oh, girl, I want that one. I want to talk to that one. I think you go for the guy that wants you because that's where you're going to get the best treatment at.
Right.
So I said, I'm going to go out with any guy that asks me out. Even if I ain't my type, I'm just going to try. And I went out with a couple and I was just like, Lord Jesus, I hope this thing work out because this don't look right. This ain't going to work. And then I ended up finding Gregg, but at the same time, I was the same way when I went out with Gregg. I was like, I'm not so sure. But he treated me really good. And when I left the date from with Gregg, I said, you know what? We had a really good conversation and I would go out on a date with him again. I'm just talking about going out on a date. That's all.
No, I've gone out with...
So the question is, really, do you pick or do you allow a man to pick you?
I mean, I think, so for me, I never approach a guy, so I think initially they do have to pick you. Because I'm not the type of woman that's going to go up to a guy just because of how he looks physically. So I think they always initially do pick you. And then it's your choice whether you want to pursue that.
Right.
And go out on a date with them.
Do you pursue that? Or do you have it more like, do you flirt from afar? Like, I'm going to stare him down.
No.
And then he's going to look this way and then you're going to be like,
I don't do that. I think just because.
Okay, so how do you flirt, Jen? I can see you there with your glass of champagne, honey, but you're like.
I don't know. I'm shy. I don't know that I really know how to flirt. I mean, I was like smile at a guy, you know, but like I don't know how to wink. You know what I mean? So it's
your lash should be in the way. He's like, oh, my lash got caught on my bottom, honey.
So I don't know. I mean, I will. Here's the thing. I think they have to know you're somewhat inviting and interested. So I'll like smile or I'll do a wave, but that's really
you're interested.
Right. I mean,
okay, so this is a strange guy. He comes over, you guys made eye contact, he waved, you waved. So what's gonna make you like him? Is this gonna be strictly his conversation? Or you gonna be looking at his clothes? See, I always look at men's shoes. I don't know why. I'm just always looking at a man's shoes. I look down first and then I look up. I don't know why. I'd be like, oh, okay. Let me see what them shoes lead to.
Yeah, you know, I'm a Virgo, so I'm very observant. So I'm gonna do a quick like rundown. But it really is the conversation because I'm trying. I tell myself like, don't be superficial, you know, because I'll be like, I don't like his shoes, like I'm straight. Yeah. But that doesn't mean he's not a good person.
It doesn't mean that he's not good. I'm superficial as well on that end. I'd be like, I don't like his shoes. There's no conversation.
Yeah. So like
you can really miss out like that because he may not be fashionable.
No, wait. So oh God, I hate to put him on blast like this. But because you called me about it, and then Kelly called me about it too. So I went out on a date with this guy, right? He was nice, and it was on the show, right? And he had on a Movado watch. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
So I'm like, you know, he was an attorney, he was nice, but I was like, damn, I think I had a Movado in like high school.
Yeah, but okay, now what's wrong with that, Jen?
He was just trying to.
But he was just trying to tell time. But you could have got him a better watch. He's just trying to tell time. Maybe he had on a Timex. He's just trying to tell time.
But see, okay, so things like that, right? So what do you do? Like,
I think that if you really like them, because I experienced this, you know, with someone. If you really like them, then you can kind of like, babe, that watch down. Let me take it. But guess what? For your birthday, guess what I got you? Ta-da! Watch. Oh my God, you like, babe, because they ain't really wearing them no more, babe. But you know, you're such a great guy. Sometimes you can kind of change their dress code because some guys don't dress good. I personally like somebody that dresses well, but sometimes guys don't dress well.
So I am attracted to people that dress well. Yeah. But again, I'm trying not to be superficial. You know, like I'm trying to just like, you know what? Even if they're like a nerd, they might be a really good guy. That's what I have dated some of everybody. Yeah. And I really, for me, it just depends on, do we get along? Do we have good energy? Is the conversation good? And I like to laugh and have fun. Do they do that? So, and I need a certain level of attention.
So when you go on a date with a guy, will you pick up the check? Or are you going to let him pick up the check? I mean, what you gonna do? I mean, if this is somebody new that you like, so he needs to pick up the check every single time. Would you not ever pick up the check?
No, I'm gonna say every single time. I mean, there's certain occasions, and you know, I think it's okay.
What if it's his birthday?
For sure. If it's my man's birthday, I'm getting him a gift. I'm gonna take him to dinner.
Sure.
You know,
right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think as a first date.
Oh no, as a first date.
No,
I think that
it's okay
I think that there's
sometimes.
Yeah, I think that men dating today, I think they feel like all women want to do is get in their pockets. And I think that you are showing that you are a well-rounded woman and you are an independent woman when he's paid for several dinners, and then one day you guys are going, then you say, no, babe, let me get it. Right. And then you get the check. I think that just shows guys can really appreciate that, because I've seen girls go out on dates with guys who got the money and they are paying for dinners and stuff, but sometimes you have to show him, like, I got your back too, babe. Like, just showing him that little thing will just make him feel like, yes, she got me too. And my baby bought me.
And I think, you know like for me, if I'm dating a guy and I'm out and I might be shopping for myself and I see something that would look nice on him, I buy it. Yeah, a nice shirt, a pair of socks. I thought a cute tie. I thought this tie would be great for you, and you know you need it because the last one you wore was too small. Like, I love gifts, so why would I not give gifts?
Well, I always try to tell my single friends how to. Not that I am an expert on dating, but I just try to say, some of the things that you can do. Gregg obviously is my husband, but I buy him stuff all the time. Right. You know what I'm saying? And he buys me, but I'm always buying Gregg. Yeah. And I think that you just are showing your partner or whoever it is that you're interested in that
it can be reciprocated.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a problem. Like, I work, I make money, so why can't I buy you something nice?
Absolutely. You need to do that sometimes. So if I hook you up on a date with just somebody I choose, that shoe may not be right, but I'm just choosing you somebody that I think is good, successful, and he is not no fashion king. But I think that if he had a lady, I think he would listen to his lady. I think if you said, babe, we're going to go to the store, he got the money to buy it. He just don't know fashion like that because he's been focused on his career.
God, I would love that because for me, that's fun. And, I feel like, okay, let me see what you like, and then I can tell you what's fashionable.
Right,
and we can
in that style of what you like.
I wouldn't mind that. So
I think I may have to look you up. Yeah, but I'm telling you, this person, I'm telling you, handsome, but they just don't have all those things. Like if you're looking, they have a nice car and everything, but if you're looking for like designer, I don't think that their things are bad. I don't think so. But I think they have the money to buy, they just don't know what to buy.
Okay, no, I'm totally open to that, and everything doesn't have to be designer.
Yeah, they love to travel. They love to look.
As long as I'm compatible with you, and we're interested in some of the same things. You're open to teaching me.
Do you like older or younger?
Older.
What's older to you?
I mean,
You mean 5 years older than you or 10 years older than you? You don't like your age group?
No, I could do my age group. But I have dated younger and I've dated older. But I think I prefer older. I'd probably go up to maybe 10 years older.
Okay. It's okay.
So I would say that I would date a guy that's 10 years older than me, maybe 15.
What? I would not suggest. I honestly would not suggest it. Because I feel like the age is going to show up at some point. So I would not suggest that.
Well, listen, I'd rather be the younger one in the relationship.
I don't know. Maybe.
Why?
I just feel like the age will show up.
Okay, so what do you think my max should be? 10 years?
10 years would have to be the max to me, and that still is stretching it. 10 years, 5 years, but 10 years, I mean, I feel like maybe you can deal with 10. 10 that's pushing it, but that's something about it.
I mean, listen, I like younger too, but I
don't like young guys.
I don't like super young. I feel like if they maybe are 5 years younger than me, that's probably
Yeah, I feel like young guys just they ain't gonna work.
And it also depends on how mature they are.
Because women are very mature. Women are a lot more mature than men in a lot of ways. And so I feel like if you start dating somebody way younger, no.
Yeah, no, I'm not dating like somebody in their
that don't
20s.
work.
I'm not doing that.
I don't see that working.
Yeah, no,
I just really don't. But anyway, so recently you were in the headlines dating another buster. Okay, so why? What happened? Were you really, did you think that he was cool? He was the one? Did you ever think that in your head? Like he's the one?
So I'm going to say this.
I do know this, but before you say anything, I'm going to let you have it on this. But I do know that, and I don't know that he's any of this. This is all allegedly in my mind. If he is somewhat of a con guy, they can appear to be the one. They can appear in your life to be like, I'm that one, and they really aren't that one. Because it's all a facade.
Right. So you have to take into consideration this man has been a con artist for 20 years, right? So basically this has been his career. And, you know, he has a PhD in this shit. Because what I have come to find out is, I mean, he's been, the amount of people that have come forward it's just, honestly, it's so much more bigger than me now, and it's really heartbreaking.
Let me ask you, is this the first police report?
No.
I was going to say, did anybody else ever think they should file
No,
a police
it's
report?
not. But you know, the problem is, he's been doing it all over in the police, and he uses multiple names.
Yeah.
Right? So he has different aliases. So nobody's been able to connect the dots.
Okay.
Of where, you know, he'll do it maybe in, you know, I think there's a report in Gwinnett County, then there's one in Kansas City, then he has a warrant for his arrest for forgery in Alabama. It's like, you know, and it's different names, so nobody's been able to connect that this is the same person, because one, you don't have to, he's not using the same name,
right.
You know, so it's just crazy. So I say that to say, yes, he did appear a certain way, and I was like, you know, he obviously, if he's doing this to multiple women and men, he has a very charming way about himself.
Of course. He's perfected that.
Yes, absolutely. And then, you know, I was in LA and he was here in Atlanta. So it was like, you know, we were...
Now, is this the guy you met the night I told you to go out? Remember you asked me where to go and I said go to the St. Regis?
Yes.
My God.
You know what? I should blame your ass.
No, you shouldn't. Your ass told me. You were like, listen, I went to the St. Regis. This is her, y'all. I went to the St. Regis and I met somebody, honey. I remember that night you called me and said, you're in Atlanta.
Oh, you told me like 3 or 4 places to go. You said the cigar place. You gave me like 3. And I was
the
like,
next day you were like, girl, I met somebody.
But you know what, to be honest, like, so I go to the St. Regis and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna need me a white man, right? Because I'm thinking like St. Regis, whatever. But again, you know, he was like, I was there with...
I bet y'all seen him there. It just, you know, didn't pay
Yeah, because I heard that he hangs out there. So, yeah, you know, like very charming. Like, he told the waiter, like, oh, I'm gonna pay for their drinks, and then kind of like walks away. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, like now I'm kind of intrigued. Cause
that's his thing. He probably does that.
Yeah, right. So
thing.
It's like, you know, because I'm used to people like paying for something and they want to be all up in your face, you know, so it's completely different. And I was like, okay, that's, you know, that's kind of cool. And, you know, he's a charming guy. And so, you know, we had good conversation and, you know.
Brent, did you pour something else to drink? Jen some and me some. Go ahead.
Thank you, Brent. So, yeah, that's basically how it started.
Y'all started talking at the St. Regis. He bought you a drink. He walked away, and then you were intrigued. So you were looking for where he went to. See, I told you.
No, but I didn't go. I stayed there, right? And so we stayed there. I was talking to my friend, and then you know he came back and he was talking to me, and he invited us someplace else. Oh, to the Regent. But we didn't end up going. My friend wanted to go somewhere else to get dinner, and he was like, "Oh, you know." Then he was like texting me like, "Oh, I got you a table over here," but we didn't end up going back there. So the next day, I actually went on a lunch date with him to Houston. We talked for like 4 hours. And again, he was like very charming. I was intrigued because his birthday is the same day my mom died. And I was like, you know, I kind of was like, is this a connection?
Vulnerable. This is a connection.
Right. But this is
the same date as my mom.
Right. And this is something that I acknowledge because it's like, okay, I'm like, trying to do this like grief counseling.
Right.
And so, you know, there's certain things where you try and connect the dots when you're looking for just, you know, I don't know how long the grieving process is.
Yes, it's
right?
No, it's different for everyone.
So these are like certain like connections. You're like, wow, like, okay, you know, for me, I had never met anybody with that birth date, and so, you know, that's a big date for me.
Yeah.
Right. So when you connect
to me, that's the first sign. That's my first sign about you. But go on.
Okay. So yeah. So again, like I said, this is because I'm always like looking for. I think I'm just always looking for a connection to my mother.
Right.
Right. So, but yeah, you know, like that's kind of just how it started. And he told me his name was something that it wasn't. I did Google him, nothing came up. And I have been to his house before, you know, which he
was it really his house? Now,
well, I mean,
look back, or was it somebody else's house? I'm only saying that because of what we think of him as a con person.
Right. I mean, well, here's the thing. So I went in the house, you know, you see pictures. I don't know that you could stage a whole house. You know what
people do. They had somebody on our show that staged the house. They weren't ever even living in the house, and they were over there staging and
let me tell you
pictures.
This. So I did go to a party with him at Sheree's house. He's cool with Sheree. So I don't know that.
That's interesting. How she met him?
I don't know, but they're cool.
In Philadelphia?
What's Philadelphia?
That's another video.
Oh, okay. So I don't know, but they're cool, right?
So he's a con artist that Sheree knows.
She definitely knows him because she had a birthday party and he was like, oh, I was in town. Sheree wants us to come to the birthday party. It was a pajama party, blah, blah, blah. So he communicates with her. So I'm like, okay, you know, like
There's signs.
So now listen, so he's knowing certain people, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, well, again, I have been to his house, you know what I mean? He told me he owns his house.
Did you go to Sheree's?
Yes.
Was she cool?
Yeah, she was
nice?
Yeah, she was
and
cool.
She didn't think anything of you being with John Doe?
No.
Do you think she knows that he's a con artist?
That's what I'm like questioning, like, does she know his antics? I mean, I don't know. I have no idea.
Wow. We might need to call Sheree.
Please. Listen, because I'm trying to connect all the time. I'm trying to understand, like, because honestly, since this whole thing has, you know, come out, the amount of people that have come forward that don't have a platform, don't have a voice, that have tried to do something, that have been contacted by the FBI. I mean, the stories I'm hearing is crazy. This man robbed his own father that is mentally ill.
Oh, stop.
I'm telling you, I will show you the DMs. It is heartbreaking.
Okay, so let me just say this for people who may not be following. So Jennifer started dating a guy before she moved out to Atlanta. She started dating someone that she met at the St. Regis Hotel here in Atlanta. And since then, things have gone really, really left to the point of her car being stolen from her. So, and I'm just trying to get Jen to fill in the blanks on like what happened from the moment we met until your car is stolen and taken away from you. So that's what I'm trying to find out.
Right.
Okay. So now you were saying what now?
That he stole from his own father.
Right. So his father, you say mentally ill, meaning he's elderly, he's older.
I don't know exactly what's wrong with him because his cousin reached out to me and was like, "Oh my God, this is my blood cousin. He stole my BMW.
Oh my God.
And he robbed his father that is mentally ill." And so I guess the father had a lawsuit going on and got a settlement. And I'm not clear if so the father lives in Michigan, so I don't know if he flew out there or flew the father here to Atlanta. So when he got the settlement, apparently he took the father to the bank, took out all the money from the settlement, I think it was $50,000, said that he was going to invest it, and the father has not seen him. I think the last time he heard from him was maybe a month ago, and he said he was going to get the money back, but hasn't got the money back, and he's not living well. Like, he needs this money. The conditions he's living in is not good. It's just like really heartbreaking. So to know that someone doesn't have a conscience that they will do this to their own family, of course I'm not exempt, or anybody else. And you know, I see these comments and people are like, well, she's stupid, and you know, and it's not about. No, I just, you know, certain ones I just like reply to, because here's the thing. You can call me stupid all you want. Like, I just, like, I try to have an open heart, you know? But if I'm stupid, then the dozens of other people that he's done this to, I mean, I'm going to show you the email of the list of people that we have compiled their information and what he has done. Because at this point, my attorney has been talking to the FBI because it's that big and it's across so many state lines. And so it's like, no, this man is a professional. This is what he does.
Tell me, how does it make you feel, though, Jim, when you go back and think about you actually was intimate with someone that is that cruel to people?
Oh,
like,
it's, you know,
it's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard, but I'm not like blaming myself, or I'm not.
No, I'm just saying, when you look back, you just like,
yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I just, you know, to me, I just think this man is like the devil, you know? And so I'm like, I really feel like this is like, not the movie Sleeping with the Enemy. This is like some real life situations here. And I just can't believe that he's.
But if his father is mentally ill, could he be mentally ill though?
You have to be mentally ill to continue to do this. Like, how do you sleep at night and not having a conscience of just going around just robbing people?
I mean, has he ever cared about anybody? I remember looking at one of your videos that recently did when you did it with Angela Yee, and that girl on there seemed to be involved with him for many years. And that was really scary to me. I was like, she was with that person for that many years and she didn't realize that he had a black heart?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you know, and this is what I don't want people to do, because this is discouraging for people to come forward. And this is why he's been able to get away with it for so long. We tend, when people go through something, we tend to want to blame the victim. Like, well, you should have saw signs, or you should have. And this is precisely why people don't come forward, because they don't want to be judged. They're embarrassed. It's so, you know, like, you think I want to come forward and say, like, this man stole my car. But for me, it was like, I had to at this point, because even before I posted it, I was learning what this man was doing. And then when I posted it, it just became like such a bigger picture.
How long was the time period before when you knew your car was gone and you posted? Did you post right away?
No, I didn't post right away. No. No, I because, you know, I went to the police. Obviously, you know, everyone's like, well, you didn't do a police report and you didn't report it to your insurance. Like, of course I did that. You know, I went to the police, and we're in the middle of a pandemic. Right. So it had been,
things are different. The court is different.
Right. And so it's like, oh, okay, this girl got her car stolen. It's not a priority. So it just sat, and I kind of felt like the detective wasn't doing anything. I still haven't talked to him. He was supposed to call me yesterday, and he was, you know, talking to my attorney, but I haven't talked to him. And he, you know, he was like, oh, well, I apologize. There's just a lot of violent crimes. They take precedent over property crimes.
They do.
It's like, okay, I get that. But, you know, for me, it was just like, listen, they're not doing anything about this. So let me put it out there. I now know that he has been robbing people. I'm not the only one. So maybe if I put it out here on social media, somebody will know something. It will trigger the police to do something. And so that's why I did it. It wasn't like, oh, you know, people were like, oh, it's 5 months later. No, that's not the case. Like, they've had this report. They've been knew about it. You know, and the detective actually contacted him, and he admitted to having my car, and he said, oh yeah, she gave me her car to rent out because she was behind on the payments.
Because I saw when he had posted something.
That's all bullshit.
Is it?
It's all bullshit. He's like, I gave it to he made up some name. I put a tracker on it. I gave it to this person, Paul McGowan, or some name that he came up with.
He sold it to him or gave it to him?
He said he gave it to him to rent out. Then the tracker.
Why would he give it to rent out without getting your permission?
Right, but he implicated his own self, because this is what he told the detective. So he acknowledged that he was in possession of my car, right? And so, okay, this is what people don't understand. If I come to your house, right, and I say, you give me your car to run to Publix, I don't come back with your car. I have now stole your car. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
Yes, you gave me permission to drive it, but not to keep it. Right? So you're supposed to bring it back. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. I give you permission. The minute I tell you I want my car back, and you can't produce my car, you have now stolen my car. Yeah. Period, point blank, no questions asked. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. So now I gotta have a detective call you to tell you to return my car, and you still can't produce it.
It's a problem.
It's a problem.
Yeah, it is.
So now you're going to have a warrant for a stolen car, along with all the other people's car that you've stolen, along with a warrant that you have in Alabama for forgery.
Okay, I'm going to ask you something that I asked myself. You told me that you needed to put your car away because you have two cars. You weren't in your place yet. You just moved to Atlanta, so you need to put one of your cars away. And I said, Jen, you can bring your car here and put it here in one of my garages. So why didn't you put your car here? Why wouldn't you give it to a friend opposed to giving it to a lover? So you felt like you trusted him?
Well, only because one, okay, so I was staying at a hotel, right? And I think I was flying out that day, and you were already in Miami because I was coming to meet you. And I was like, well, I was kind of pressed for time. And he was like, well, he was like, I'll take the car, like put it up for you. And then when you come back, whatever. But I still, I thought I was closing on this house, and you already know that whole, ordeal. So for me, I was like, well, I don't want to bug her. Like, you could just take the car and like put it up, because I knew you weren't in town. I wasn't sure if Gregg was in town, so I just was like, all right, well, I can give it to him. I trusted him, to be honest. Like, I trusted him. Like, I would trust you with my car. Absolutely. I didn't have, at this point in time, I didn't have a reason not to trust him.
I get it. I just felt like I would have just gave it to my girlfriend other than giving it to a guy. That's what I thought. That
is the defining moment, because I'm like, I think back on that, because I remember I was actually getting breakfast. I was on the phone with you, and I was like, okay, I think my flight was at like 3 or something like that, and I was like, well, if I try and bring the car out there, then who's going to bring me back? We would have worked it out.
But you can look into it deep, because I have Brent. He loves to move around, and Gregg, and we would have worked it out. But I felt like I have an extra garage, and I would have been happy to just keep your car here in my garage. I mean, I keep a Rolls Royce in my garage. I don't drive. I drive my Range Rover, so I don't drive it regularly. And we have enough garages where you could just store it here. And then we also have storages down the street, if you could just store it down there. But the whole thing is, at the end of the day, when did you come back and ask him about it? When you got back, you didn't say, hey, how's the car doing? Or I want to switch cars. You just continue to drive your sports car.
No, so when I came, during the time I was gone, because I thought I was coming back sooner, but when everything like happened with my house, I just ended up staying in Miami. So he was like, oh, your car needs an oil change, and this, he was telling me different things that was going on in my car. I was like, okay, cool. So when I came back,
felt like a boyfriend would. Oh, baby, need new tires. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So when I came back, I still didn't have my house. So I was staying in a hotel for a little bit of time, and it just didn't make sense for me to have the car because I had nowhere to put it.
Right.
So I'm not really thinking that, this man is gonna, run off with my car.
Right.
So, it was like towards, I would say, probably like, so that was like in November. I would say probably like December is when I was like, oh, and I need to get my range. And he would always be like, okay, let's talk about it in the morning, And I was like, And then I realized that my car is not, I don't know where the hell my car is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, yeah.
He gave you excuse after excuse. When did you start thinking, this car may be gone?
you know, I started talking to a friend of mine, and he was like, something is not sounding right. And so he connected me with his attorney, and I was kind of like telling the attorney what was going on, and he was like, okay, we're gonna have to go to the police station.
But did you ever ask the question, give me the car, do you have a car?
Yes, I was asking him for the car, and he was blocking my calls, he wasn't returning my phone calls, he was calling me from like random numbers, and then I would try and call the number back. I mean, it was like a whole
So
thing.
he never said, no, I don't have the car.
He told me that the car is gone.
What'd you say? Well, what the fuck is it?
I was like, what do you mean the car is gone? And he was like, oh yeah, like the car is gone. I was like, what? I'm like, what are you talking? So for me, it was like this. I moved to Atlanta. I'm already dealing with all this shit with my house, right? And so I just kind of wanted my personal belongings, right? And my cars are one of my personal belongings to make me feel like, okay, I have some form of comfort. And so I'm like, my car is gone. Like, what are you talking about? So I went to the police. I went to the police twice. So the first time I went, I was telling the cop what happened, and he was like, listen, he was like, this is a big deal. He was like, if I put this in the report as stolen, he gets pulled over, it's not gonna be nice for him, that's considered a felony, blah, blah, blah. He was like, do you really think he's not gonna return your car? Or is he just, you know, like
being a bitter boyfriend?
And I was like, I don't know, because at this point I don't, you know? And he was like, because this is like a serious allegation. And he was like, you know, why don't you think about it and see if you could get the car back, and then, you know, like, so I was like, okay, because I went initially like, okay, I got to do something about this. And when he said that, I was like, damn, well, I don't want this guy to have, you know, because it's considered a felony.
You still caring about it.
So I'm like, damn, like, I don't want to do that. But at the same time, I'm like in this predicament. So I'm like, all right, let me continue to try and get my car back. And it was like to no avail. So then it forced my hand to
have to do that.
Yes, absolutely.
But by that time, though, Jen, it's probably long gone. Because the car could have been gone since November.
Well, again, I didn't know that he, and you know, then, listen, I don't know what's true and what's not true, but you know, I've been hearing stuff that he's a part of this like car ring. And the crazy thing is, so now that I'm learning, it's happened to multiple people, but I don't, you know, again, I don't know why people don't always report it or come forward, because listen, I'm not in the business of paying for some shit I don't have.
No, that would be crazy.
No, like I'm just not, you know, but actually, we have talked to someone that he, you know, he doesn't want to be like known or whatever, but he is a white man, and he hasn't seen his car in a year, and he's still paying for it.
Why? I would never pay for my car.
Listen, allegedly they had sexual relations. And I don't know if he's out the closet, he don't want to come forward. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know.
But still why he won't still pay for the car though? Can't you just file it with your insurance or no? Or that's
well, I think you have to. No, you have to go to the police first.
Oh, you have to file it.
And then they have to investigate.
Oh, okay.
And then, you know.
And then you can. Okay. And
like right now, my insurance company is still in the process of investigating what's going on. You know,
and
like
if you don't pay for it, it could go against your credit.
Right, but that's what's happened to multiple people. He right now has this guy reached out to his attorney. Actually, reached out to my attorney. He's in bankruptcy because this guy. Aaron Nichols has 2 cars in his name, and it's you know, it's on his credit. He has to file bankruptcy. He also has like a line of credit, and so what he's like, his thing is like, let me help you fix your credit, right? And so this is a big problem.
Because he give you your information,
right?
Your personal information,
and a lot of people have credit issues.
You know what a lot of people have credit issues.
So he gets cars in people's names, then you don't know about it, and a lot of people don't have credit monitoring services. So they don't know until you're like, wait.
So he fixed your credit, then use your credit to buy something with it.
I think the people that he uses their credit can't be. I don't know how he does this whole thing. I really don't know. But what I do know is that he takes people's identity and gets cars.
As long as I keep trying, no such thing as the limit. I'm out here shining.